Thank you all for joining us today. Today we continue, it's kind of our part two of our vocational rehabilitation series that we're doing in partnership with Voc Rehab. So today's topic is going to be about Voc Rehab's relationship with behavioral health services. So we've got two speakers here that'll introduce themselves in a second, who work for vocational rehabilitation and helping to manage and maintain that partnership they have in place with behavioral health. So today they'll share more information about that. As we're presenting today, or as they're presenting, like Lizzie said, if you do have questions, I will be monitoring chat. So you have a couple of options. You can put your question in chat and I will go ahead and ask it for you, making sure that none of them are missed. Or if you would rather, raise your hand, like I see Heidi, your hand is raised. Feel free to ask your question if you want to come off mute.
I just was curious on how long this seminar is planning to be today. Do you have an end time for it?
It won't go any longer than an hour. Could be a little less though.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Just for my later appointments in the day. I appreciate that. Thanks.
No problem. So as I was saying, you can do, as Heidi just did, feel free to use the reactions and raise your hand and I will let you know to unmute or, put your question in chat and I will ask it for you. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to Monica and Catherine so that they can introduce themselves and share some information with you.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Abel and Lizzie, for inviting us to be part of this vocational rehabilitation series. My name is Monica Maya. I am the statewide behavioral health coordinator with Vocational Rehabilitation Services, and I am here with my wonderful specialist, Catherine.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Catherine Mayer, and I am the statewide behavioral health specialist here at Voc Rehab. It's good to be with you.
All right, so today we're going to go over a very quick overview of vocational rehabilitation, just in case you missed the first part of this series. And then we're going to go into our guiding philosophy in working with individuals with behavioral health, and then talk about our inter-service agency agreement with Access and how we serve individuals with a serious medical. I'm sorry, my brain is not working today. A serious mental illness. There we go. I got it out. And then the roles and responsibilities for Voc Rehab within that interagency service agreement. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, sorry. All right. So what is Vocational Rehabilitation Services? We are an employment program. So our end goal is to help individuals with disabilities, and disabilities is a wide array. It could be physical, cognitive, mental health, anything that has an impact in you being able to be, anything that has a barrier for you to be employed. So we are helping individuals to not just find those jobs, but also prepare for them and maintain them. So we assist at that those services. And one of the things to keep in mind is that we help individuals prepare for a job. We do not place individuals in jobs. We provide the skills necessary for individuals to be able to compete for jobs in their community. We're all about competitive integrated employment. Next slide. All right, so now we're going to talk about our guiding philosophy in working with individuals who have a mental health disorder. And even though we work with individuals in this ISA that have an SMI designation, this refers to all individuals that have any type of mental illness. So we believe that anybody is capable of working competitively as long as we are putting the right supports in place. So instead of asking individuals if individuals can work, we should be asking, how can I help you get to work? And that is how we approach individuals who are referred to vocational rehabilitation services. And like I said earlier, we are talking about competitive integrated employment. So we are moving away from sheltered work employment and giving them the opportunity to engage in competitive employment. For those of you that may not know, Arizona is an employment first state. So we work with our partners to ensure that competitive integrated employment is the first choice for individuals with a disability. Next slide. Okay. So any attempt to work is a learning opportunity. So individuals are given the opportunity to have real work experiences. Whether or not they are successful or not, we provide that failure, that the dignity of risk. So people learn by doing. And so that is what we intend to do with individuals who are referred to vocational rehabilitation, give them that opportunity to have those real world examples. We also see that engaging in employment services and getting hired is a path to recovery. We can see that individuals have a more sense of self, more sense of hope when they are entering into the workforce, and can alleviate some of the symptoms associated with their mental illness. So we are treating the whole person. We want to take into account all aspects of their life. So we're not just treating one of the symptoms that may come up within their mental illness. We want to treat the whole person and take that into account when we are providing services and assisting them to find a work environment that's going to fit for them. Next slide. Once again, work is for individuals with disabilities and individuals with mental illness. It's not just a paycheck. It is a sense of dignity that they are contributing to their community. They're empowered. Their self-esteem and self-worth increases because, like I said, they're contributing to their community. They feel like they have more to offer. And it is also a way to develop those natural supports. They have a new support system that they can lean on in order to help them be successful, not only in employment, but their everyday lives and independent living. So this just broadens their community from being able to participate in employment. Next slide. All right, so like I said, we have an interagency service agreement with Arizona Health Cost Containment Center Services. I hope I said that right. It's a long acronym, otherwise known as AHCCCS. So we have an agreement which was established in 1992. To be able to provide and coordinate services. This ISA is for individuals who have an SMI designation, and that is the population that we serve under this ISA. We do hope that in the future we can extend that to the general mental health and substance use population. But for the meantime, when I talk about the ISA, please keep in mind that this is for SMI folks. So the purpose of this ISA is to increase the number of employed people with psychiatric disabilities. And the way that we intend to do that is by having a streamlined referral process from those RHBAs to vocational rehabilitation services. So we have a set forth process on how those referrals are received to us, and making sure that we are coordinating within the two agencies to ensure that the individuals who are referred to us are successful throughout the process. There is funding attached to this ISA. So we are provided money from Access, who we then use those funds to provide vocational rehabilitation positions. So that includes counselors, supervisors, rehab techs, as well as client expenditures. So the services for individuals who are referred to us, who are SMI, we have money to provide services for those individuals. Next slide. So like I said, the funding is for positions and client expenditures. And we have coordination with those behavioral health clinics. And we have responsibilities on both sides. So we have responsibilities within Voc Rehab, and then there are responsibilities at the behavioral health clinic side that we spell out in our what we call our statewide collaborative protocols. So that's basically just an overview of the ISA and talking about the process and our rights and our roles and responsibilities. So the most important thing is that we are coordinating those referrals and services to ensure that they are getting what they need, not only as far as behavioral health services, but employment services in order for them to be successful in long-term employment. Okay, and I believe Catherine is taking over for the key points of ISA. Is that correct?
I certainly can.
Or was that mine? I can keep going.
Yes, I think I'm taking up that role and responsibility.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, so the key points of the ISA. So we have VR counselors who are specialized in psychiatric disabilities and who have caseloads from referrals from those behavioral health clinics. So depending on the clinic that an individual is receiving behavioral health services, they are assigned to a specific counselor who covers that clinic. The counselor then works with the employment specialist or rehab specialist at the clinic to coordinate orientations, which can be at the clinic, intakes, and then weekly coordination to make sure that we are staffing those cases about anything that has come up or where they are in status or anything that is pertinent to their case with vocational rehabilitation. And part of that ISA is that we are coordinating with the clinic and have a presence at that clinic as well. So our BHS counselors do attend the clinics regularly and should be provided a functional workspace for them to be able to meet clients there. For the past 2 years, we were virtual. But we are, as of July of last year, we are back in person and making those contacts again and rebuilding those relationships with the clinics. And we have, like I said, we have those weekly consultations with the staff at the clinic to discuss any concerns, services that need to be put into place, where they are at in the status, just to make sure that these clients are being served and not falling through the cracks. So we, the weekly consultations are a big part of that coordination piece within that ISA.
Okay, Monica, thank you. I think I've got it from here, and I'll turn on my camera, and just apologies to everyone. I am getting over a cold, so there might be some pauses, or I might go off camera to take a sip of my tea as needed. Just give you a heads up. So thank you, Monica, for overviewing the purpose of our agreement. I'm going to reiterate some of those key points in the ISA, and speaking about our roles and responsibilities as vocational rehabilitation counselors who work with the behavioral health clinics. So as Monica mentioned, there is funding attached to our interagency service agreement that funds behavioral health VR counselor positions. And these counselors are trained and receive additional support to provide a structured and enhanced VR program to clients who have psychiatric disabilities, and more specifically, individuals who have a serious mental illness designation, which indicates that the functional impairments that they have related to their mental health diagnosis or diagnoses meet such criteria that they receive additional supports through access. And so our counselors are co-locating at the clinics on a weekly basis. As Monica mentioned, they are expected to coordinate and participate at the highest level possible with the clinical team, which is just reinforcing that community-centered best practice and having an integrated interdisciplinary team. As Monica mentioned, we provide orientations at these designated health homes on a monthly basis. Monica mentioned that we had previously been working virtual due to the COVID-19 pandemic. We've since returned to the clinics with increased flexibility. So many of our counselors are partnering with the community mental health clinics to offer hybrid orientations where they meet with clients in person for orientation, and also extend the opportunity for folks to join via Zoom, Google Meets, over the phone. So we've had some increased accessibility due to the way we shifted service delivery over the pandemic. So having those orientations at the clinic, which is the first step in the VR process, is really convenient for members and part of our presence on site. For determining eligibility within Voc Rehab under this agreement, we have an expedited timeframe. So for individuals who have an SMI designation, we are doing our due diligence to meet that motivation when it presents, and we're determining eligibility within 30 days, which is reduced from the federal regulation of 60 days. So we really try to get things moving. We develop the individualized plan for employment, or the IPE, in partnership and collaboration with our clients. They are, in the driver's seat. This is their plan, and we of course include input with the client's permission from the rest of their clinical treatment teams. So we work with the provider employment staff, therapists, whoever makes up that client's team, to ensure that they are well supported in achieving their goals. And our counselors are sure to include behavioral health objectives and services in that plan. And it may go without saying, but I definitely want to emphasize that in working in partnership with the community mental health agencies, we are utilizing a lot of the services that they provide to our clients to help mitigate those barriers related to employment. So those therapeutic services, medication management, whatever is on the client's treatment plan at the clinic is highly relevant and important to their success at gaining and maintaining employment successfully and navigating their VR program. We provide services to mutually enrolled clients, and we staff those services and we coordinate with the treatment team on site. And so when we think about how we coordinate with the behavioral health team, it is important to note that most of the clinics that we work with do have dedicated employment staff. So there are employment staff at the clinics who work hand in hand with VR counselors to coordinate and provide services They establish that link to referral and orientation. They engage in the weekly consultations with the VR counselors. They help with engagement and re-engagement efforts, serve as a liaison between the counselor and the rest of the clinical team, and are kind of key contact under the ISA. So they are very important team members for us. They also facilitate ongoing supports, which I'll talk about in just a moment. So with that, some questions arise on how we differentiate the services that a client can expect to receive with vocational rehabilitation and the services that they receive at the behavioral health clinic, which is a legitimate question. And I like to think about the services that both provide as contrasting and complementary. So it's important to understand that with the providers, with employment staff at the providers, their focus and the emphasis is on quick job placement. So a client is at the clinic and they need to make rent, right? We all have immediate needs. And the behavioral health clinic is very adept at prioritizing those quick placements. And Voc Rehab, we emphasize we're focused on rehabilitation, right? So we're looking at that person and environment fit. We're looking at how disability related symptoms affect individuals' ability to obtain and maintain employment. And we're focused on the long-term sustainability of fit. And we have more resources at our disposal. We are able to fund services that are not obtainable through Medicaid funding on the provider end. So often we work hand in hand with the behavioral health clinics, with the clinics supporting that short-term, immediate, get needs met goal. And we are focused on career, something long-term and sustainable. And so in that way, we are really, I think, going kind of an extra step to make sure that someone is supported now and beyond. So the provider offers job coaching services. They're also contracted with some employment networks. Some have work adjustment training programs, and we are contracted with some of those as well. So again, we work hand in hand. And again, we share that ethos that employment is a part of recovery, with work being an organizing feature in our lives. And so, as I mentioned, the behavioral health clinics offer extended supported employment services, and this is also written into our ISA and statewide collaborative protocols. When individuals enter vocational rehabilitation with a serious mental illness or a certain level of psychiatric disability related needs, we identify that they could benefit from long-term job support. And so we will at VR fund short-term job coaching to help ensure that the individual attains job stability on which there is no time frame. And once an individual attains job stability, we are going to look at transitioning their service provision back to the clinic. Right, so back to when the clinic didn't go anywhere, we've been coordinating with them the entire time. But what we're doing essentially is kind of a warm handoff. You've successfully completed this portion of vocational rehabilitation. You have been, stably employed for X amount of time. And what we'll do is implement ESE, which is provided and funded by the RHBA through the provider. So now that employment staff at the clinic is going to be making sure that that service is provided as agreed upon, while VR keeps the case open for 90 days. So our countdown for successful case closure with VR starts 90 days after the ESE meeting. So that's 90 days after employment stability is reached, which is significant because many of the individuals we serve have had difficulty obtaining jobs, but typically it's maintaining employment that has been most challenging. So we are kind of utilizing that community-centered focus, those supports that are available that the client is already engaged in, that have been there the entire time, to ensure that there's a smooth transition for that ongoing support, which can be provided indefinitely as part of their treatment plan at the clinic and funded by Access. So we've included a couple of links for your reference. The first is the Arizona Disability Benefits 101, which is a benefits estimator that clients can use to determine how going back to work or increasing their hours at work, maybe they received a raise, seeking wage and raise at the same time. Maybe they've had a change in their income and want to determine how their disability benefits are going to be impacted by this information. And this is very important. Sometimes this is a tool that we use when individuals are reluctant to seek employment out of fear that they'll lose their benefits, which for many individuals took a long time and a lot of effort to get in the first place. And there's a real fear about losing those, which is their livelihood, right? So this is a great tool, highly recommend. It's not only for work and disability related benefits, there's also information about access, freedom to work, and other benefits information and support. So it's a fantastic resource to share. And then, of course, our Arizona RSA website, where you can go to find local offices, contact information, as well as referral forms, and can submit referrals to our program and learn more and get connected. And then the contact information for Monica and myself is here. So please feel free to reach out anytime with questions, feedback, comments. We are here as a resource for you as well. And that is the end of our presentation. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Catherine and Monica. Right now, there are not any questions in the chat, but oh, there is a hand. Heidi, go on. Heidi, did you have a question? I see your hand is raised. Oh, she put the question in chat. So her question is, where do we get a copy of today's presentation? So we are recording the presentation and that recording will be made available. I don't know, Monica, Catherine, if you guys are able to also share the PowerPoint, or if that's okay if we do that, is that an issue?
I don't think there should be an issue.
No, there's no issue with you sharing the PowerPoint. This is not, private information. This is information that we actually want to get out to the community to utilize.
Perfect, thank you. Does anybody else have any other questions? I'll give time in case anybody's typing or anything right now. I just want to share with the group so you all are aware. I mentioned this is the second of a whole series of webinars we're doing with vocational rehabilitation. So we do have another presentation next month, and I'm sorry, I don't have the date right here in front of me, but next month's presentation, and it'll be announced as well in the chat, is going to be the partnership between vocational rehabilitation and the Division of Developmental Disabilities. So there will be a new set of speakers coming in to share what that partnership looks like. And then the following month, for the month of May, we will be having Voc Rehab come back to talk about their transition program and the relationship they have in place with our school systems around the state. So more good information to come from Voc Rehab in the next 2 months. A question in chat, can we share this presentation with our consumers, our DDD members? Yep, I do not see why not. It sounds like both Monica and Catherine said sharing the PowerPoint's not a big deal. Our recording will be available for anybody in the public to view once it's posted.
Yeah, you can share this particular PowerPoint. We also have a VR orientation PowerPoint as well that talks more about the VR process. If that is something that you would be interested in as well, you can always reach out to myself or Catherine and we can get that to you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Of course, yes.
So how do we get notification for future webinars, the ones that you mentioned? Will we get an email? Are we on an email list since we participated in this one, or do we need to reach out ourselves?
Ava, are you on and able to clarify that? I know we do send out the registration to everybody that is on our listserv. I'm not
Okay.
sure that folks are automatically added though, but Ava, go ahead and clarify for me.
Yeah, so Lizzie does send out the registration in the listserv, and then I also put the registration right now for the next one on April 27th in the chat.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
Yep, so I did just see that. Lizzie just posted April's presentation in the chat. And then for the question about the recording for the previous presentation, there is one. Lizzie, where's the best place to go to access that?
I think she hopped off already,
Okay.
but she will send out an email to everyone who attended the PowerPoint and the recording as well.
And do we know, Ava, for last month's recording on just the general overview of VR, where we can find that?
For that, I'm not too sure. I'd have to ask Lizzie about that.
Okay, so I lost who had asked originally. Kim, you asked about the previous presentation. When you receive the email from us on this one, reply back to that to us and ask us for the previous one as well. We'll get you the link. Michelle, I see your question about you've been trying to apply to provide behavioral health services through VR, but you're having no luck. I'm not sure if there's a specific service you're looking for or what. I don't know if this is a question Monica or Catherine could answer, but it may be like a contracts kind of an issue. So
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Michelle, if you want to go ahead and email me or call me directly, I can help kind of figure out what it is that you're asking and get you pointed in the correct direction. I'll put my email in the chat.
and then before we all go, if there aren't any other questions, I know that there's an evaluation that's going to be posted in the chat. Ava, are you able to post that in there now?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Please, take the time to complete the evaluation. It really helps us, your feedback with, kind of guiding our future webinars. So we really appreciate it if you could take the time to complete that. Are there any other questions before everybody hops off?
A really quick question, Abel. If I need contact Catherine or the other girl, can I send you guys directly the email, or because I need a lot of help with some of my members?
Yes, I mean, don't hesitate to shoot. I know that Monica and Catherine both, posted their email on the PowerPoint, but Monica also had just thrown it in the chat here, just a little bit above where the survey is posted. So, feel free, email Monica as much as you want. Send her dozens a day, please.
Monica, don't get mad at me.
I will not get mad. Yes, please email myself or Catherine. We are also available to do presentations for your specific agencies, for your consumers, on anything regarding vocational rehabilitation and behavioral health, so that we can increase those referrals and start a coordination with your specific agency. So please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you. Thank you, Monica.
You're welcome.
Any final questions? Okay, well, thank you everybody for attending today. And hopefully I will see many of you for next month's webinar as well.